This video is going to be from Chapter 2, Exercise 9, the extruder cover. One of the things in previous videos that I haven't mentioned that I want to make sure that you're aware of now. So if we just click on New Drawing, this opens it up in the metric template. So we do have the imperial or US customary template, which would be in inches. We also have the metric template. So you want to make sure when you do create a new drawing that you are either in the imperial system or in the metric system. So on exercise 9, it does say that the dimensions are in millimeters. So let's go ahead and click on that. Open up a drawing here. And with this, as we go through, it's going to be the same as all of the other drawings. We're going to set our units. We're going to create our layer properties as well. So the first thing I do when I bring my cursor in here, I'm going to type in units, kind of bring this up. So we are in decimal units of 3 places. So now, since this is metric, we're actually going to go, most metric dimensions are given to you as a 2-place decimal, unless you are dealing in microns. And if you're going in microns, then you're down to the 3-place decimal. But for this drawing, I just want you to put a 2-place precision on decimal, because that is typically what we see in metric drawings. So here's our object snaps. Again, you can kind of select these. At this point, you should be aware of how to turn some of these on and off. As we're looking at exercise 9, the extruder cover, you can kind of see we're definitely going to need the center, maybe intersection, maybe endpoint. And as we kind of go through this, we'll talk about some of the other ones that we need. Actually, quadrant, looking at that, none of our intersection points are really in a quadrant. So shut the quadrant off, but we will be using the tangent. So we do have some of those that are at the tangent. So let's go ahead and turn tangent on. And at this point, all of these are circular features. So they're all kind of round. So I'm going to shut off insertion and I'm going to shut off endpoint. So we're just basically going to have center and tangent as the only object snaps here. We don't need polar tracking on. So, and we've got, or if you haven't already, go ahead and set your theme to light, turn your ribbon on or off, depending on how you like to use the drawing tools, and click done. Now, you have 2 possible places to set your datum point of 0, 0. You can either do it off of the circle that's on the top, or that top hub, or you can do it off of the circle on the bottom. For me, I'm going to go off of the circle at the top. So I'm going to start just by drawing that circle, and I'm going to place that at 0, 0, typing that in, hit enter. And again, notice how we're zoomed way out here. So I'm going to pan down and get that closer, and then zoom up. So pan closer to the X origin. And in this case, I know I'm going to kind of work from inside out. So I've got a diameter here of 10. Now, if my diameter is 10, right now my circle tool is specifying the radius. So, and as you look down here, right down here, it says specify radius of circle or diameter. So if I want to change that to diameter, I just type in D, hit enter. So, I hit D point, so not a big deal. D, enter. Now I can specify that diameter of 10 and hit enter again, place that in. Right click, repeat that last command. So select your center point. Now I've already got a center point now, so I can just click on that using my object snap, or I could type in 0, 0, either way. Again, it's asking for the radius. We want the diameter, so I'm going to type in D, enter for the diameter. This diameter is going to be 24, and hit enter to get that. We've got one more going on here, so let's go ahead and right click, repeat the last command. So come back over, use the object snap. So same thing here. I need to type D, enter for the diameter, and 32 is the diameter of this one. So enter to place that. So I got those 3 on the top. Now, I'm only in the layers menu right now, so I haven't set up any of the other layers, and that's all right. We'll kind of, for this particular one, I don't really need any construction geometry, although I will tell you that it's always good to set up some layer properties to have to use those, because we will come back and do some other things with this particular drawing. But for right now, we need to add the other circle at the bottom. And if we look at and read the print, we see that from here, the center of the other circle is somewhere down here in quadrant 3. So our points will be in the X minus 10 and in the Y minus 40. So I got to establish the center coordinate point on that first. So let me come back up here to my draw circle. So, and in this case, my actual center point is going to be minus 10 in the X. I enter that into the key, put a comma, and then minus 40 in the Y, and hit enter. So that places it for me. Now, again, all of our dimensions here are given to us as diameters and not radiuses, and the tool is asking for the radius first. So you can do the math, and you know that the radius of an 18-inch diameter is 9, and so you could type in 9, or you can just hit D, enter, and type in the actual radius here, which is 18. Enter, gives me that. Right click, repeat the last command, come pick up the center of that point. So now it's easier because I have the center object snap on. I don't have to key in the actual coordinate point. And in this case, I'll use the radius on this. It's a 25-inch diameter or 12.5 radius, and hit enter. So we have both of those. So we're in good shape here. The last thing that I need to do here is put those 30 millimeter radiuses on. So I got an arc that kind of comes from here to here, and an arc that comes from here to there. Now let's just talk about this arc tool. So the problem with us using the arc tool right now is we really don't know exactly where it comes in. Well, we do kinda. So we've got the tangent object snap done. So let's just type in. So I'm going to go to the tangent there for the first one, and the tangent. Now we've noticed we've got some different tangent points here. So I'll click this tangent here next. Now notice it doesn't really like this, and we get this odd type of shape here because it's not a radius. It's going off of 3 points when we draw that arc. Unfortunately, that's not really a very good tool for us to use in this situation. So I'm going to right click and cancel to get out of that. That's not the tool that I want to use. Instead, I'm going to go back to my circle here. And I'm not going to specify a center point in this case. I want the tan radius. So I could either type in TTR, or I could come down and click on tan radius. Now's the time. I'm going to get my tangent point here, come down, my tangent point here, and then it wants the radius of the circle. Well, in this case, that radius is 30. So I'll type in 30 and hit enter. Now it's created that circle. That's all right. We're going to go in here, and we can trim out this part here, and we're left with that. Let's do the same thing. Go back to our circle. I'm going to go tan radius. Same thing. I'm going to be careful where you put your tangency point on here. So we need to be somewhere down here in this quadrant, and I need to be somewhere down in this quadrant. So there's my tan. Again, this is 30 radius. Notice how it's already in there from before. So I don't have to type it in this time. I can just hit enter, and it places that as well. Let's trim that out. So now I can trim this out. And at this point, I would also want to go in and say if I got this, I can trim these out. So, but notice on both of those, that's not what it's wanting. So we're good to go with this particular drawing. It's save, or so now all we have to do is save it. So I'm going to go save as. So it's bringing this up. So it's going to put it into the folder, and I'm going to save this then as Extruder cover, again, no space between extruder and cover, capital E and capital C, your hyphen, your first initial, and your full last name. So go ahead and click save. And that is all that we need to do with that drawing. So make sure your layer properties are in there and set when you do this. The drawing is finished, so I can come back to my main AutoCAD web page here. Go down and make sure that you've got, click on that and download it to whichever file folder on your computer or device that you're using. We'll put it in so that you have it saved and can upload that into the Canvas assignment.